Today I want to share with you 8 steps to go from surviving to thriving the current economic downturn and the crisis we face with the coronavirus. Hello, my name is Barry William Magda, the CEO and founder of The Game Changers. We help business owners to triple their profits, double their time off in 12 months or less, and we're in very interesting times right now. Yet with every crisis, there's both danger and there's opportunity. In order to get to opportunity, we need to have a solid game plan in place. We need to be working on our mindset. We need to be clear of where we're going and lead those around us. Today, I want to share with you the 8 steps to go from surviving to thriving, which is a recent training I recorded and shared with our current members of the Opulence and the Boardroom programs here at The Game Changers. So let's kick off. Get a pen, get a paper, a cup of coffee, beer, whatever required to watch this next few minutes of this training. The first thing is around preparation. So there's a few key things before going into this to look to get together to prepare. And the first thing is to know how many weeks of cash reserve you have at all times. It's not enough right now to be measuring and managing your cash flows on a monthly basis. It should be weekly, if not daily, depending on the volatility of your current business. So know your cash flows at all times and how many weeks of cash reserves you have in place for your business. The second thing, know how much revenue decline you can cope with and when to take action. So in one of my previous videos, I talked about putting together a budget to work out if you're to lose 75% of your revenue, 50% and 25%, 3 separate plans. What must your business do and what actions do you need to take in terms of staff cutbacks or layoffs, in terms of expense reduction and so forth, to see you break even. So the second thing is know how much revenue decline you can cope with currently and when to take action. At what point do you need to start taking action to reduce expenses, reduce overhead, reduce staff, to still maintain ideally profitability, at worst case scenario, break even. If you have those 3 plans in place, allow you to execute them effectively, decisively, calmly when if the time is required, as opposed to trying to do it from a state of panic, making stupid decisions and maybe doing things that aren't actually required through fear and scarcity. Third part in this planning section is know what supply chains are likely to be affected, your revenues, and when. So communicate with your suppliers regularly and make sure that you're aware and kept up to date the moment that they have any insight into when your supply chains might be affected, what supply chains might be affected, and when they might be affected. There'd be nothing worse than you having we have many of our clients right now that are booming because they're selling essentials and things that people need. Yet the challenge with that is potentially running out or not being able to get access to supply chains. So for them, we're helping them put in plans in place to ensure they have enough stock to maintain supply and delivery of this, but not so much stock that if all of a sudden it stops, they're left without profit and a bunch of stuff sitting on the shelf that aren't going to sell. And the fourth part of this planning preparation part, before we get into it, is ask if you can negotiate with large creditors to preserve cash. So there's a lot of people hurting right now, and it's highly likely if you go to your creditors, you have a good relationship, you can negotiate with them to extend your payment terms for 30, 60, 90 days. We've had a number of our clients that have negotiated reductions in rent for the next 6 months and changes to payment arrangement with current suppliers and also the tax department as well. So that's the fourth part of this preparation phase. Now I want to get into the 8 steps to go from surviving to thriving, and I've just got some notes here from the presentation that I recorded and shared live with our members yesterday. The first is to have a plan. Have a weighted plan based on business activity that allows you to trigger it based on increased measures and allow you to trigger it and execute it based on data, not emotion. So that was what I spoke about earlier. Have a plan in place that has a budget based on a 75% reduction. If we lose 75% of our revenue, what actions do we have to take to ensure that we can still maintain profit or at minimum break even? Then have another plan in place. If we lose 50%, what has to happen to break even or maintain profit or break even, and 25%. If those plans are put in place up front, it allows you to then have energy and a free headspace to focus on seeking the opportunities that are coming from this crisis, rather than being stuck in the dangers and the scarcity and the fear and the worry around what to do, because you have a plan in place. If you need help putting a plan in place, please feel free to book a call with one of my team. More than happy to help you guys put a customized plan in place for free. Whether you decide to work with us or not, we want to help as many people as we can through these tough times, because recent stats suggest that more than 150,000 small businesses in Australia alone will go out of business in the next 90 days, which will result in more than 500,000 jobs being lost, which is absolutely terrible for them, for their families, and for the greater community. So We want to help as many people as we can. If you need a hand putting a plan together, please reach out to us. Let us know what you're up to and what you're after, and we'll most certainly help you put a customized game plan in place as well. The second one is change. The only consistent thing in life we can count on is change, yet be the one that seeks change and goes after change rather than allowing change to come to you. We want to change the frame here so that you're in control of the current situation as much as possible rather than the current situation controlling you. So realize that change is inevitable. Start to lean into and be okay with uncomfort and uncertainty. Right? That's part of our role here as being CEOs, business owners, and be the one to go and seek out change. Now's not a time to be trying to band-aid or fix things in your business. Now's the time to break things, to innovate, and to seek out the opportunities at hand. We had one client who runs a large events business, and overnight they lost 100% of their revenue with all events being cancelled, and we helped him pivot immediately to hire a space and to set up a recording studio for those running live events to then start to run recorded events to be able to live stream them to their clients so that the event producers, the people running events, wouldn't lose all the revenue because they had a really cool place to still record them. They had a really easy and accessible way to deliver those events to their clients. And literally overnight, this guy went from running an events business to running a recording business and was able to keep a lot of his clients, keep a lot of revenue coming in. But it was through that decisive action and letting go of what he knew his business once was that's allowed him to make money, rather than being stuck in, oh my God, I'm losing all this stuff. This is happening to me, being, the blame, the fear, and everything else. So it's important to seek out the change, to pivot quickly, and to be smart about the decisions we're making in business at the moment. Next is staff and credit cutbacks. Cost cutting has to be top priority in a crisis. The key is to lower costs intelligently, not from a state of panic. And flexibly, thus minimizing and negative long-term repercussions. One thing that I'd say is that it's very likely that many of you right now are going to have to lay off staff, reduce their income. Many of you may even have to shut your business down. I'm absolutely okay if I've got to go and shut my business down to maintain my profits, maintain my resources, to regroup, to replan, to reopen again when the time's right. We won't have to do it and it won't happen. We're in a strong position, but I'm absolutely okay with it if it has to happen. And I'd ask you to be the same. If any part of this conversation is making you feel squeamish right now, you need to be okay with leaning into it, because it is tough times, and it's your ability to take fast action that will see you come through the other side of this better for it than coming through the other side and being worse for it and taking months, if not years, to recover from that. Number four, so staff and credit cutbacks. So go through your go through your expenses and work out what you can cut back right now. What are the things that you absolutely need versus the things that you like to have, and cut out everything that you don't need right now. Potentially remove staff bonus incentive programs right now. Potentially negotiate with staff to do split rosters if you don't have enough work for all of them to keep them all on. Potentially negotiate with them to reduce their wage for this period of time. It's highly unlikely they're going to leave and go somewhere else. They're more likely to work with you through this time. Negotiate wherever you can to reduce expenses at any cost right now. Negotiate longer term credits with your suppliers as well. The faster you can do this, the more cash is going to allow you to reserve within the business and be spent into potential things like sales and marketing, which we'll talk about in a moment. Step number 4, extend credit. A bank is a place that will lend you money if you prove you don't need it. There's never been a better time to approach the bank if you've got a good credit rating right now before they start to heavily restrict funding, and to get yourself a big lumpy overdraft account or a bank loan. Not to go and spend on keeping business afloat, absolutely not. And the reason we've put this as step number 4 and not up front is that it's required you to do those other things first. Have a plan in place so that you're not emotional in making decisions. Cut back expenses, potential staff where required. So that the reason you're borrowing money is to invest in opportunities. Invest in opportunities and keep things moving forwards profitably, not just to pay your overheads and to keep yourself afloat. That's the worst thing you use it for. So it's there as a precaution. We're absolutely going and seeking and borrowing funds, not because we need it, but you just never know what's going to happen. And for us, it's going to be a huge amount of opportunity on the other side of this. And it's going to be good knowing we have the cash there to pounce on those opportunities when they come about. Number 5, delivery model. Beginning immediately, can you waive delivery fees or offer a virtual product? So we've had a number of clients that are in gyms or dance studios that obviously have been copying it pretty crazy right now with the coronavirus and huge no-show rates. And we simply pivoted their model to run online and to record content. They had some concerns about charging. What should we charge? Is it less? Is it more? And I'm like, look, at the end of the day, parents are wanting their kids to be doing dancing or going to the gym or whatever else, which is why they're there. And they want to continue that through these times. Even more so, parents don't want kids running around the house crazy while they're in lockdown. So giving them something to do is ideal. So we've recommended, and use your own judgment, to still charge the same prices through this, because there isn't a cost to obviously still record the videos, to produce them, to send them through, and offer that as an incentive. You might get clients that want to pause right now, and if they come to you and say, hey, I want to pause my membership, what I'm going to suggest is you pause the conversation. And what I mean by that is say, that's great, and we can chat about that in a minute, but right now, what is it you need? What do you need most? And help them to get the fix to what they need most. And you'll find that in many cases, they won't pause or cancel the membership because they just want to be heard and they're wanting a solution for the problem. And if you can show up in your leadership with certainty, with confidence, and provide that solution for them, they're more likely to continue on with your product or services. So, can you start to deliver a virtual product based on what you've got? And who knows, this might be the greatest innovation your business ever had. I know for a few of our clients, they're like, why the hell haven't we done this earlier? It's way more profitable. We haven't had any drop-off rates, and we can see this being strong for our business moving forward and allow us to enter international marketplaces as well. So as I shared before, with any crisis, it exists of two words, danger and opportunity. And there's opportunity in everything. It's just, can we be sensitive enough and deeply grounded in our heart and intuition enough to see the opportunities, or are we stuck in our head and our fear and our scarcity, focusing on the doom and gloom? And stop consuming social media and all that bullshit out there, because a lot of it's out of context. A lot of it's fake news circulating, and it's just not good for your emotional state and growing your business. Number 6, plan to work from home. Many places across Australia and the world I know are already going to lockdown and isolation. So if that's not you already, prepare and plan to work from home. The option to work from home when needed. Try different lifestyles. They're having to change jobs. It's a win for everyone. So see if you can't take your team virtual. We've been virtual for about 4 years now. Best thing that the Game Changers ever done. Work out what tools you need to go virtual. Things like Zoom to run meetings. Slack for ongoing team communication, which is like kind of going to someone's desk and knocking their shoulder and having a chat. And also keeps people at email. Loom if you want to record videos and trainings and things and share them with your team. Google Apps if you want to work on live documents and share documents from people at different locations. So if you're not already, plan to work from home, work out how that works with your business and with your team and client interactions, engagements as well. Number 7, market and sell. This is great. For a business not to advertise is like winking at a girl in the dark. You know what you're doing, but no one else does. So now is, I believe, the best time to be doubling down on marketing and sales. If you have marketing right now that's working, I'd be doubling down on that, because what we're seeing personally within the Game Changers business is our cost per lead is going significantly down, because a lot of people are operating from fear. They're locking down their cash reserves and they're pulling back their cash online, which means there's more advertising space, which means that companies like Facebook, Google and so forth, YouTube, are allowing us to get leads at a lot cheaper rate. This will pass. It's a matter of time. We don't know whether it's going to be weeks, months, certainly won't be years, but it will pass. And are you going to be positioned at the top when it passes, or are you someone who acts from scarcity right now, cuts your advertising budget, waits for the market to kick back in, and then has to compete with your competition who's been there the whole time? Now, one caution is, if you do have low cash reserves and are tight on cash, I'm not recommending spending the last amount of cash on marketing, but I would recommend that you keep some form of marketing happening consistently, and maybe look for some no cost, low cost marketing that you can initiate as well during this time. But absolutely, now's a good time to be marketing and selling. If you haven't previously marketed before, it might be a good time to start, providing you have a budget you can afford to spend to test marketing. It's sometimes not something you can get kicked off immediately, but once it starts to come on, providing you've done a good job of identifying your niche and being clear in your offer, you can absolutely dominate in this industry. We're certainly seeing higher volumes of leads and opt-ins and call bookings than ever before, probably mainly because we're leading our clients through this powerfully, profitably and effectively. But equally too, depending on your business, it might be a really good time for you to advertise as well. The other thing that I'd say is, if coming back to a previous point around shifting and pivoting your business model, is if you're finding that you've lost a ton of business, it might be worthwhile to look out there what industries or what businesses right now are thriving, and how can you support them? How can you provide some support or something for them? Or how can you provide something or support for their clients and their clients' needs? Just because you've run a certain business doesn't mean you need to always run the business. At the moment, the focus is not just surviving, but thriving through this. And there's huge opportunities, providing you're willing to let go of what you've known and embark on them as well. And step number 8, repeat business. There's never been a more important time than to look after your current clients. Is there solutions or offers that you can create specifically just for your current clients? If you've got a large client base right now, you might be a certain type of business, but your clients have other needs. So maybe survey your clients, maybe do some research, work out what they need and provide it for them. That might be toilet paper, it might be face masks, it might be thermometers, as silly as it sounds, it might be that. But what is it your existing clients might need from you right now, and how can you kind of be the saving grace and the leader to provide other things for them? How can you look after them? Now's the time absolutely to over deliver and really look after them, because once we get through this, and we will get through this, they will see you as having an even deeper relationship with them than ever before, because you've been there for them through this time of crisis. So that's the 8 steps. Just to kind of wrap this up, I guess the opportunity, and there's a few key points I've got here. Over deliver on customer service, absolutely at the moment. Every downturn creates opportunity. Spend time mitigating risk, which is what we spoke about here, putting plans in place so that you can then spend time analyzing your opportunities. Because once you have these things in place, you're a bit calmer, a bit more relaxed, a bit more certain. You can spend time focusing on your opportunity. This virus and recession will pass, although no one knows when. What can you do now to improve your margins and increase your customers? Right? That's where your focus should be, not on losing, but on winning. Stop gossiping, stop reading the news, and build bloody plans. And lastly, come the time, come the leaders. There's never been a great opportunity for you to step up as a leader, to be seen by your peeps, by your tribe as a leader, and to really lead people through this crisis. But it comes through you first leading you, looking after your health, looking after your mindset, having clear plans in place so you can maintain calm through this. And it might be that you're the duck in the water where everything looks peaceful from above, but underneath your feet are paddling like crazy. But regardless, it's time for you to step up, it's time for you to lead, and you too can move through this without struggling. So moving from that surviving to thriving. So I hope this has been helpful. If you've received some benefit or gained some insight, please can I ask you a favor, and that is to share this, comment on it, and let us know by liking it, because we want to help as many people as we can through this. We've got capacity, we've got a very solid business that we've been preparing for this for some time, pretty much since I faced the last recession in 2008 through 2012. So we're well prepared, and we want to help as many people as we can to come through the other side. So help us, help you by sharing our stuff around to other people as well. That's it for me. Big love. Look forward to seeing the next video, the next update around what you too can do to go from surviving to thriving. Lots of love. Bye-bye.